What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Eat Meat and Make Families. A little live stream here today. We're going to talk a little bit more about nutrition and physical degeneration by Dr. Weston A. Price, published in 1939. Probably one of the most important nutritional and anthropological books published in the 20th century. How's everyone doing out there? I want to make sure that I've got my bit rate real low. Trying to make sure that everything's good on the stream today. Had some problems in the last couple streams with the speed. I got that paleo internet here in Ecuador, which is actually probably a good thing. If you live somewhere where your internet is not that great, if you live somewhere where you don't have cell phone service, which I do have cell phone service, but probably a good sign. Probably means that you're a little bit further away from the degeneration that Dr. Weston Price was talking about in his highly important book from 1939. What's up, guys? Stephanie, Beatbox, Hydrofire, Zazoom, make America thin again, he says. Yeah, the first question was, the first comment today in the chat, I think it's the same guy who always shows up. He's like, the earth is flat. We're not talking cosmology today. We're talking nutrition. So, sorry, we're not discussing the flat Earth theory. We are actually today we're discussing the fat Earth theory, because I am a staunch fat Earth theorist. And all the science shows us that the Earth is fat, way too fat, as well as deficient of fat-soluble vitamins. So, how's everyone doing out there? Rodham Cohen, what's up, dude? Rodham, who sent me an email. He's over there in Israel. Claudine, what's up, Claudine? Claudine's coming on the show next week. She's going to be a call-in. We've been doing a lot of former vegans, recovering vegans, calling in, discussing their stories, telling giving their testimonies about how their health, their physicality, and their mental state experienced massive degeneration on a nutrient-deficient diet, on a plant-based diet. Even a whole foods plant-based diet like I started playing around with in 2009 ended tragically in 2011 after serious illness. Annabelle Dickerson, what's up? Says huge fan here in Texas. Hey, don't be a fan, just join, right? Like, I'm not looking for fans, guys. We're looking for members of the tribe, right? Like, every single one of you out there has a responsibility, just like me, to eat meat and make families, to form strong communities, to maintain your cultural heritage, to maintain the strength of your genetic heritage, meaning giving your kids solid nutrition so that they can live and experience life to its fullest. So we've got a lot of people here, just like me, who have experienced in the past mental and physical degeneration due to nutrient-deficient diets. And it's not just, the standard American diet, which is what I grew up on. But it's also plant-based diets, like our buddy Klaus over at Plant-Based News likes to talk about. These plant-based diets can be massively bad for your health and your mentality. All right, guys. So, let's see. Making notes in preparation as I have some memory loss from this lifestyle, says Claudine, Right on. I found some grass-fed hot dogs, said someone. Yeah, we're all about nutrient-dense, whole foods-based diet. Whole foods-based diet. So, hot dogs, stuff like that, a little bit lesser quality than what we recommend. Of course, when you're changing your diet, a lot of people are used to eating a standard American diet. A lot of people are used to eating a very nutrient-deficient diet. And a lot of us don't know how to prepare nutrient-dense foods. And that could be a major issue. We got a lot of recipes on our website, quite a few of the basic recipes on our YouTube channel as well. And then, of course, my wife, got a shill for my wife's book. Maybe Jessica will join us later. But the Ketogenic Edge Cookbook, training manual for ketogenic, low-carb, and paleo cuisine. Probably one of the most efficient ways of teaching you how to master your kitchen and keto-fy it. It's all whole-based foods. There's no peanut butter, aspartame, fat bombs, right? We're not giving you recipes for, tofurkey, keto tofurkey burgers, right? Nutrient-dense whole foods. The basics, really, really important, guys. So learning just how to make some broth, slow cooking meat, how to make a steak. The basics are really, really important, and it's really not that hard. All right, guys, nutrient-dense ketogenic diet. I made a video the other day about how to start keto, everything you need to know, all the basics for starting a ketogenic diet. There's a lot of new people out there, a lot of people who are just starting out keto, and I know it can get really overwhelming, all the abundance of conflicting and confounding information. The keto repeatos are out there repeating. You don't need to measure your blood ketones 10 times a day. You don't need to measure your blood ketones and blood glucose before and after a meal. All you got to do is eat a nutrient-dense, low-carbohydrate diet. And if you're trying to burn body fat, the fat that you burn could come from your plate or from your body. And you got to make sure to get sufficient protein. Okay, now getting sufficient protein doesn't mean you're eating tofu, you're having a little bit of whey protein powder. It means you're eating nutrient-dense whole foods. So these are the principles that we teach on our channel here that we've taught for years. These are the principles we've been teaching thousands of people through private coaching for years. And the reason that we've started the Keto Collective, the next one starting next Sunday, this is the last plug before we really get deep into this information, guys, before we get deep into nutrition and physical degeneration. The next Keto Collective starts a week from this Sunday. The Keto Collective being our group community live coaching course. Not even a course. I keep saying course because the alliteration just drags me down that line. All the k-k-k-k-k's. But our Keto Collective community coaching session for August begins on the last day of July. It's a 4-week session. We do 2 live voice chats minimum per week. And we teach you how to formulate your macros and how to do this long term. And our goal is to equip you so efficiently and give you the confidence and the knowledge you need to be able to teach other people how to do it. Our goal is to make it so that you are even a better coach than the people out there trying to sell you coaching on the interwebs, the internets, the keto repeatos out there. So again, it's not about macronutrient ratios. Your macronutrient ratio is totally irrelevant. All that's required for ketosis is the restriction of carbohydrate. My buddy Ted Naiman out there said a couple years ago, a lot of people like to rip him off without giving him proper credit. He came up with this cute little slogan: if your body's already high fat, all you need is low carb. Macronutrient ratios don't matter. They are irrelevant. Get sufficient protein, keep those carbs low, and burn body fat if you want to burn body fat with a nice healthy balance of dietary fats that are nutrient dense, not a bunch of peanut butter, aspartame fat bombs. Nutrient dense, high quality foods to satiate you, and then you can burn that body fat. As far as your protein levels, how to find adequate protein levels, watch my most recent video entitled All You Need to Know to Start a Ketogenic Diet. It's a really good one to share with your friends and family as well because it breaks it down in the simplest terms. Now, bare minimum protein that anybody's going to want to eat, don't ever go lower than 1.2 grams per kilogram of your lean body mass. Lean body mass, not total body mass. Now, that's the bare minimum. Right? What I usually recommend is anywhere between 1.5 and 2.2 grams per kilogram of your lean body mass, because there is a range of protein that's going to suit you in different situations. There's no one size fits all. There's not the ketogenic diet. There's 100 different ways of doing this. All right, so there's different contexts that would require different amounts of protein. Some people are more active. Some people have more lean muscle mass. Some people are trying to lose body fat. Some people are trying to gain weight. Some people have been eating a nutrient-deficient vegan diet, and they're recovering from that diet. Some people might prefer less protein or more protein. If you're older, you're going to require more protein than when you were younger because you're going to be turning it over more. All right, so the essentials and the fundamentals of a ketogenic diet are simple, and that's usually what we get in on in the first week. All right, I can't tell you how many people come to the Keto Collective eating insufficient protein and too much fat and gaining weight. We make simple adjustments to the diet teach you how to formulate the diet and how to teach others how to formulate the diet in a quick and easy way that doesn't confuse them and send them running about to everybody else out there telling you, oh, please like and subscribe. Right? The problem is I get too many requests for coaching. So we had to form, actually we've been wanting to do this for years because we get so many clients requests that we have to turn some people down. Which kind of bums us out. Like, I want to be able to handle everybody, but I can't do more than one Skype meeting a day. But we found a way where we can handle 30 to 50, perhaps even more, but we're going to cap it off at 50 this time. And we haven't really been advertising it that much. We don't do paid ads or anything. Shit, I don't even ask people to subscribe or like my videos. If you're offended by what I say, I invite you to unsubscribe. I think we have too many subscribers, judging from some of the comments that I get on my videos. If you're offended by anything I say today, please unsubscribe and bounce. But anyways, this is a way that we're able to coach more people in a single session and give you more interaction than when we just do private coaching, which is when I do private coaching, I do one consultation per month per client, which is sufficient, right? It can transmit the knowledge to you in a 1-hour Skype meeting. We can get to the bottom of why you may have been off track or just teach you the basic fundamentals and tell you, here's how you do it. And then let you put in the work, build the foundation, and live, right? Because it's got to be long-term changes. Short-term diets are long-term failures. You're not looking for a short-term diet. You're looking for long-term success and long-term habit formation. Okay, so ketogenic diet, relatively simple. If you stop listening to the Keto Repeatos. So there you go. The Keto Collective starting July 29th. Like I said, this is a way we're able to actually handle the amount of clientele that we get requests for and give you more time per individual, more one-on-one time, more time actually talking to you. We get to know people more. And we have a community-based setting. We use a Discord server. We don't just give you a Facebook group and say, oh, you're on your own. Here's your macros. We teach you the fundamentals and the basics so that you can transmit this knowledge to other people. Because we don't just want people coming back to us for the Keto Collective. Our goal is that in one Keto Collective session, you've got the knowledge you need to be able to help others in a straightforward manner. So next Keto Collective starting July 29th. We've actually made it so it's even more affordable than our private coaching, but you even get more content, and all of the live meetings are recorded. So if you're not able to make the live meetings, it's cool. You just send us your questions beforehand. Or even if you're at work, you can type in your questions in the text chat. If you can't join in on the voice chat, you could just listen in to the voice chat. And so it's a really fun setup. We're stoked to start. We always get kind of bummed when the Keto Collectives end. The last 2 sessions have been a lot of fun. We've got a few repeat people who are coming back, not because they didn't get what they needed out of the first one, because a lot of people just like to help out too. We've got some patron saints of the Keto Collective who like to help other people out. Shout out to Hugh, who I don't see in the chat here. I haven't seen you in the chat in a while, Hugh. You're probably out living your life. I hope that is so. Hope your family's doing well. But we've got a few people who like to join it. It's really cool because in the Keto Collective, other people get to share their experiences and knowledge. We get a lot of other coaches coming in there as well. So it's really, really fun to see other people helping each other out and supporting each other in the community-based setting. And we like the live voice chats. We like to jump in there. You can jump in the voice chat with each other anytime. And we like that community-based support because a lot of people start keto. They have no idea what they're doing. They have nobody else around them in their life who's doing anything like this. And it's nice to be able to have that community setting and support. So that's starting week from Sunday. There's a link in the description. Hit us up on the website for that. Let me make sure that there is a link in the description. Yeah, links in the description. Enrollment is open. Space is limited. But there actually is plenty of space. Most people sign up on the last week, you know. All right, guys. So let's get into this. Let's get into nutrition and physical degeneration. Now, this is one of the most important nutrition and anthropology books written in the last 100 years. Andrew says I should interview Logan Sneed. Yeah, we just did a live with, shout out to Andrew Scarborough, cancer survivor, warrior, living out there in the UK. One of the most degenerated societies in the world, nutritionally, morally, spiritually, governmentally. So Andrew, how you doing, man? I'd love to have you on again soon. Done a couple interviews with Andrew. You guys can check out my interviews with him in the past. He's a cancer survivor using a 100% carnivorous diet, even eating insects, because he found that plant-based foods would destroy his gut, and that the only way he was able to maintain proper brain function and homeostasis in his brain, because he was getting so many seizures because he was a brain tumor survivor. The only way he was able to do that was with a zero-carb diet. Now, I'd love to get an update on how Andrew's doing. I know that you've tried many different routes and done many different things. Yeah, so Andrew, thank you so much for sharing your story with me in the past, man. I'd love to talk to you again. I'm going to have Logan on very soon. I'm doing a series of call-ins of survivors of the vegan propaganda, degenerative movement, and also nutrition and physical degeneration. So let's get into this. Let me find my, here it is. So today we're going to start out talking about isolated and modernized Eskimos. Isolated and modernized Eskimos, which are the Inuit. Now, the Inuit population is a population frequently referenced by low-carbohydrate proponents. And I'll be the first to say that the Inuit are not the best example of people doing a ketogenic diet, because the Inuits actually have a genetic polymorphism that makes them not go into deep ketosis. Now, that doesn't mean that ketosis isn't a natural state. A lot of the the plant-based diets, like Klaus over there. Oh, no, that's not Klaus. A lot of the plant-based diet proponents will say that the Inuit are an example of why ketosis is not a natural state, because they have this genetic polymorphism. Ketosis is a totally natural state that we are entering in and out of throughout the year, throughout history, because we have feast-famine cycles as human beings. Now, this book, again, Nutrition and Physical Degeneration, he started traveling the world in 1931. He started the American Dental Association, Dr. Weston A. Price. Brain fart there, as well as reading the comments. Dr. Weston A. Price started the American Dental Association, and he found that the reason that people were getting such tooth decay, dental caries, and degenerative conditions, tuberculosis was really big back then, was not just because they had poor dental hygiene. And it wasn't because of race mixing, like a lot of the Royal Society was proposing. It was because of nutritional deficiencies in a degenerated diet and a disconnection from our natural food sources. And with the introduction of processed food, every single native culture in the world experiences physical degeneration as well as moral degeneration rapidly. So the Eskimos, aka the Inuit, thrived as long as they weren't blighted by the touch of modern civilization. But with it, like all primitives, they wither and die. It's a sad commentary, Weston Price says. With the coming of the white man, the Eskimos and Indians are rapidly reduced both in numbers and physical excellence by the white man's diseases. Many reports have been made with regard to the condition of the teeth of the Eskimos. Doubtless, all have been relatively authentic for the group's study, which have been chiefly along the routes of commerce. So again, here's a way to simply and easily refute the claims by vegans. Well, look at the Inuit. They got screwed up teeth. Look at the Inuit. They're dying. They're sick. Yeah, the modern Inuit are, because they're trading away their genetic heritage. They're trading away their cultural heritage, their family's ancestral knowledge of how to live, for imported wheat, corn, soy, and plant-based crap foods from the global culture that destroys our bodies, our minds, and our spiritual communities as well. So the Eskimos, very, very important to note that most of the primitive groups of Eskimos were only hardly in contact with Western civilization, even back in like 1930, I think it was in 32 or 33 when he was traveling. So he traveled around trying to figure out where are some of these more isolated populations, because every single population he came in touch with in Alaska that was trading for modern goods in the ports were already degenerating, had massive tuberculosis, cancers, and loads of issues. All right, so he found some primitive groups located south of the Yukon and the country between it and the Bristol Bay, including the delta and mouth of the Kuskokwim River. So these parts of the civilization, let's see, at the points where there was trade, there was a lot of degeneration among the population. Dental caries, which was the first thing that you would notice. The teeth start decaying. The teeth start to crowd up, which you see very prominently in British populations and in American populations. British populations being under these austerity-based diets, the plant-based diets, since even before World War I. With massive degeneration in the population, massive increases in crime and degeneracy as well, happen when you deprive people of vital nutrition. All right, remember, low cholesterol will result in increased suicidal tendencies, impulsivity, aggression, and depression in adolescent psychiatric patients. Also, violent criminals all got low cholesterol. Why is that? Well, might have something to do with why a lot of these people promoting veganism, a lot of these vegan hacktivists who are somehow just getting millions of dollars to fund these marches all over the place. The Dominion movement by James Ashby. Yeah, that's this stone James Ashby. Oh, you gotta be so chill, do a plant-based diet, guys. I'm James Ashby. Or Joey Cobstrong, crazy-eyed Joey Cobstrong. His eyes are as wide as possible all the time. That's why a lot of these people are former criminals and drug addicts. Nothing wrong with being a former criminal or drug addict. I've had my issues with drugs in my life. I've been a thief. I've done immoral things. All of us have. But we all know that, like, the proverbial former junkie who's just got that vibe of, like, wide-eyed craziness, right? That wide-eyed, crazy former junkie vibe. Where they're constantly trying to assert, I'm not crazy, I'm not crazy, I'm not crazy. Why do a lot of these vegan hacktivists carry that vibe around with them? Well, it's because nutritional deficiencies are associated with violent crime, impulsivity, theft, all kinds of craziness. All right, so he ended up finding some isolated populations of Inuit that had very low incidence of dental caries. When he found these populations, they were all busy catching and storing the running salmon. After drying the fish, they're smoked for a few hours and then stored for winter use. Of course, these evil people torturing and killing poor fish. These evil populations, you know what I mean? And the vegans, they love to pretend in their activism, their hacktivism, that they're somehow on the side of the downtrodden, right? They try to mix up animals and people. You know, you see Joey Carbstrong here. Check this guy out. Joey Carbstrong wearing a shirt that says "Vegan is the new black." This is so absurd. This is so offensive. Vegan is the new black. All right, so you're an honorary black man because you're a vegan, bro. Cool. You know, trying to basically co-opt the sentiment of, like, this whole social justice warrior movement, which is being massively funded through NGOs in order to break down societies and impose new governance, new global governance on all of these societies. The Open Society Foundation funneling millions of dollars into these movements. Right, these billionaire NGOs also funding veganism, like Bill Gates, billionaire NGO Bill Gates. Or, what's the other guy's name? Prince Khalid, funding the vegan movement as well. Anyways, I digress. So these vegan activists who are talking about their how they're on the side of the downtrodden, trying to co-opt all these other groups. Vegan is the new black. He wears a shirt. While at the same time, no respect for the cultural heritage of any of these groups. No respect for the cultural heritage in Africa of the Maasai, who have historically lived off of animal products. Every single culture in the world, in fact, has historically lived off of animal products. Native American Indians, North America, all living off of caribou. Well, not all of them, but many tribes. Nomadic tribes living off of buffalo, exclusively off of the fat of the animal, eating the marrow and the liver, right? Focusing on the nutrient-dense parts of the animal, which is why in the book here, the Ketogenic Edge Cookbook, which we finally got in print. Stoked to have it in print. The Ketogenic Edge Cookbook, we got a whole section on organ meats, on ancestral foods. Okay, because when you look at any of the societies that were not degenerating physically, morally, and mentally, They're eating animal-based foods, bone marrow, eating the sweetbreads, the liver, the heart. These are the most nutrient-dense parts of the animal. And what's cool is most of these are the cheapest cuts now. Not a lot of people want them. Andrew's mentioning their water being of exceptional quality as well. Absolutely. Exceptional quality of water, living an outdoor lifestyle, building their own homes. So out of the 12 individuals he studied in this first group he visited on the Stony River, he found out of 288 teeth, only one tooth had any sign of decay. That's 0.3%. Whereas when he was in an area that was slightly closer, where was this? Crooked Creek, another settlement. 216 teeth examined, 18.9% had dental caries. All but one of these were living in considerable part on store grub. All right, so that's going from 0.3% of teeth being affected to 18.9% of teeth being affected in a relatively small area in a genetically similar, the same genetic population. Okay, so this is not due to race mixing, as a lot of people were saying. This is not due to other factors. This is nutritional and lifestyle changes and eating the imported foods. All right, so the Inuit, low dental caries, very, very strong families, strong sense of community, real sense of spiritual heritage, which has been robbed from us in the West, right? We've been given this fake New Age spirituality. You've been given, the sex, drugs, and rock and roll. You've been given TV. You've been given movie stars as your idols, and given up your spiritual heritage of a belief in God. You've been given a belief that you're God. You're God, bro. Go drink Aya with the shamans, bro. Go drink some Aya in the jungle, and you're gonna get enlightened, dude. You're gonna connect to the mother goddess, to Gaia, right? We're given this fake spirituality now, this mixed spirituality in the global myth culture. They had remarkable families, he said. The wife was a charming Eskimo woman, splendid intelligence, fine personality. She followed her early training and insisted on catching and storing salmon in season. This is even in contact with the Western civilization. Salmon were dried and smoked. She was the mother of at least 20 children. Only 11 were living, several having died from tuberculosis. Notwithstanding many overloads, not a single tooth had ever been attacked by tooth decay. Now, all her kids were on the modern diet, dying of tuberculosis. She insisted on eating the fish and the seafood in her ancestral diet, no issues, not a single tooth under decay. All right, so there's a picture of the modern Inuit, broad faces, broad dental arches, no dental carie. What's interesting is that a lot of them had their teeth that were very short. They're like nubs because these people would carry around 100-pound sacks in their teeth, right? They just grab it and carry around these big sacks on their teeth. Incredibly strong people could carry 100 pounds in each hand and 100 pounds in their teeth for a considerable distance with no issues. Right? Compare that with your modern society. Most people can't even work a physical labor job. We're incapacitated many of the days of our life because we're getting a nutrient-deficient diet. So really, really great chapter here on the isolated modern Eskimo populations. That's strong exercise in their job, but when they disconnect from their heritage foods, they get massive degeneration, dental arch deformities, and crowded teeth. Now, this is something that I've been talking about recently, but I didn't talk about in a lot of the earlier videos. When we first started out on our journey to health, we went on a vegan diet. Before conception, we were doing a very low-meat diet, plant-based diet, whole foods plant-based diet, eating spirulina, right? Eating the algae, getting the algae-based DHA, taking the B12 supplements, even doing B12 patches. We were also doing, what's the other one? Nutritional yeast. Oh, where do you get your B12, bruh? Oh, I get nutritional yeast. It's all good. Man, I can't tell you the degeneration I saw in my body and my mentality in that time. In the beginning, of course, getting off of processed food, I felt great. It was kind of like a high. But then it's like, oh, I'm just detoxing still, right? I'm detoxing a year later. Where can I buy grass-fed meats? If you go to our website, primaledgehealth.com, so the guy is asking about getting good meats in the U.S., check out the resources section. There's also a resources section in the Ketogenic Edge cookbook. It's available on our website. There's a lot of ways you can go about getting grass-fed meat as well as organ meats affordably. So check out, go straight to the farm though, right? So we've got links to the resources in the resources section of our website that can help you connect with local farmers and local producers that you can get grass-fed beef from. Really, really important to get high-quality food. So first generation of contact with Western foods and imported foods, trading off their genetic heritage, narrowing of the nostrils. They start to mouth breathe, which I grew up a mouth breather, and I'm just now getting my nose back. And it feels amazing, right? But I grew up with allergies, asthma, all sorts of degenerative conditions, scoliosis, improperly formed spine. And all these things started getting worse when I went on my plant-based diet. And when our daughter was born, she had massive amounts of dental caries. And it broke our heart, and we started having to research these things, and we realized we've been duped. And this was actually one of the books that was seminal in us understanding how a human being is supposed to feed themselves in this modern world. So simply just going and looking at populations that aren't having diseases, West and Price noticed common threads. They were all using animal products, animal fats, and getting lots of fat-soluble vitamins. None of them were eating processed grains. Most of them were using grains, though, in fact, but locally grown and freshly ground, not the white flour, right? Not the bastardized Monsanto seeds that are being pushed on us as the entire global food supply is consolidated, which destroys cultures as activists flood the streets. These colonialists, the neo-colonialist vegan activists. Uh-oh.
No.
Ah, it's Jessica!
Hello.
What's up, Jessica?
I'm back. I'm recipe testing.
We need you to come. I need your help. I need your support.
You do it.
All right, she says I got it. Anyways, when adult Eskimos exchanged their food for modern foods, they would experience extensive dental decay as well. So it's not just for kids. It's not just the kids. As soon as they move out, like we had a viewer on the last live stream from her dad was from the Trinidad Islands, and he knew. He never had teeth issues. He never had health issues. As soon as he moved to the States, started eating the processed food, the wheat, the corn, the soy, the cereals. General Mills being one of the biggest funders of big money veganism now. What's up, Ryder? General Mills. Oh, wow, Ryder. That looks delicious. General Mills invests $17 million in vegan meal program. Check it out. The Beyond Burger. Who's funding the Beyond Burger? Who's funding this Beyond Burger that's suddenly in Whole Foods? Well, let's check it out. Over here at crunchbase.com, you can see the top funders of... Oh, we got the Humane Society. Oh, that's so nice. Oh, Tyson Foods, the biggest food producer in the world of processed meats. Oh, I thought the meat industry is against your plant-based diet, you guys. The vegans say that the meat industry, the dairy industry, is just so afraid of plant-based diets. Why is General Mills, why is Monsanto, their biggest customer, General Mills, pushing plant-based diets now? Why is Tyson Foods one of the biggest investors in this multi-million-dollar company that's pushing this Beyond Meat, which is getting all sorts of propaganda online? Why are they pushing the Beyond Meat, the Beyond Burger, and General Mills as well? Lead investors, General Mills, Tyson Foods, Cleveland Avenue. And we got Bill Gates. Mr. We need to reduce the population as rapidly as possible. Bill Gates funding the vegan movement as well. So why is Big Ag, Big Pharma, which is now joining forces with Big Pharma, you know, Big Agriculture, Monsanto being bought out by Bayer Pharmaceutical for $66 billion. So when we eat a degenerative diet and we get modern diseases, right? When our gut microbiome gets destroyed, when our soil gets depleted, making us more dependent on these foods, then we can get the pharmaceutical drugs to fix it, right? Because that's how you fix it. I mean, we're not dealing with nutrient deficiencies. You're dealing with antidepressant deficiencies. You're just deficient in Prozac. You're just deficient in chemotherapy drugs. I call it bullshit. Tyson Foods, right? Being accused of drug trafficking. Right? Donald J. Tyson. All sorts of money laundering involved with the Clintons. drug allegations, drug trafficking allegations. Just a legit company, Tyson Foods, involved in the Beyond Burger. Big money veganism, guys. Veganism with a line down that S. Now, let's see what the Beyond Burger is all about, guys. You guys want to see the Beyond Burger? Let's check this out. What's up, Ryder? You guys go downstairs? We're outside.
With retailers to merchandise the product not in the freezer section, but to merchandise them in the meat section. And our belief is that we will transform the meat section into the protein section, so it's no longer just hamburger, chicken, chicken breast. It's cow protein, chicken protein, and plant protein.
Plant protein. All right, let's look at the ingredients on the Beyond Burger. The Beyond Burger's ingredients, let's find them. We've got water, the first ingredient. Pea protein isolate. Eating pea protein. Lovely. Expeller pressed canola oil, one of the most toxic products to human beings. Refined coconut oil. Less than 2% of the following: cellulose from bamboo, indigestible cellulose, methyl cellulose, potato starch, natural flavor, which can be anything. That can be beaver anal glands, which is frequently used for natural flavoring of vanilla products, fake vanilla. Maltodextrin, GMO corn extract, yeast extract, salt, sunflower oil, vegetable glycerin, dried yeast, gum arabic. Only half decent ingredient in there, gum arabic. Citrus extract, ascorbic acid, beet juice extract for color to make you think it looks like real blood. Acetic acid, succinic acid, modified food starch, and annatto for color. That's the vegan burger. Oh, I forgot to pull this one up. Where'd it go? There you go. That's the ingredients on the Beyond Burger. Biggest investors: Tyson Foods, General Mills, Bill Gates. And you got Klaus at Plant-Based News. The vegan activism channel fighting for the rights of the animals, right? The rights of the animals. All right, let's see what the Beyond Burger. Let's look at a review. Maybe I want to try this thing. I don't know. Maybe it's delicious. It must be delicious. You got guys like Dr. Greger eating it. Like just handsome, virile men eating this, like Dr. Greger. This is like just one of the shining examples of what veganism can do for you. Dr. Greger right there. I want to offer him my wife. I just I just want to. Oh man, I feel like my testicles are shriveling just looking at this man. He's stealing my testosterone through the ether of the internet right now. That Dr. Greger. I hope the stream quality's good, guys. I think it should be good. I got a real low bit rate. Everything should be good. It says I'm doing well. Dr. Greger. All right, so let's look at the. Let's check out what this tastes like. Let's see a review.
And the results have been phenomenal. We have launched this now in the 2 largest retailers in the United States. In several regions, the Beyond Burger is the top-selling packaged burger in the meat section. Not the top-selling plant-based burger in the meat section. The top-selling...
So social engineering us into believing that this is nutrient-rich food, that this is just equal to animal foods, while at the same time gaslighting us into believing that animal foods are cruel, unsustainable, totally untrue. Depriving cultures of animal-based products is how you destroy cultures, which if you look at the populations of the Maasai, of the Eskimos, every single African tribe that's been put under colonial rule has been robbed of their heritage foods and told that they can't hunt in the King's Woods. Native American cultures. If you look at Latin America as well, South America, as soon as the Inca and pre-Inca civilizations descended from the high Andes and stopped herding their llamas and using alpaca as their main source of food and using wild animal foods for nutrition, they get degeneration in their teeth, rampant alcoholism and drug use, moral degeneration, and complete decline of their cultural heritage. So let's listen. Let's see what let's listen to this review. Maybe we want to try this Beyond Burger.
Clouds from Plant-Based News, and I'm with Head of Written Content for Plant-Based News, Maria. How's it going?
Yeah, really good, thanks.
And Seth Goldman, the Executive Chairman of Beyond Meat, correct?
Absolutely delighted to be here. It's a big day for us. When we launched the Beyond Burger in the United States, we got more inquiries, more social chatter from the UK than any other country in the world, and so just a matter of putting the pieces together, getting the regulation and compliant, and of course the distribution, and now it's here. So thrilled to be here.
I'm really excited to ask you some questions about your product, but before that, just want to say that Maria, who's written extensively about Beyond Meat, you've never actually had the Beyond Burger, right?
No, this is a big day for me as well, because this is the first time I'm ever going to try this burger, and I'm very excited.
So you've had a couple of bites. How was it?
It's really good. It's uncanny. I haven't eaten meat for more than 6 years. It's the texture. I haven't ever had anything that's captured that same...
I haven't eaten meat for over 6 years. It's so sad, right? You see the bags on these people's eyes.
Texture, but also the kind of... There's a charred flavour to it as well. It's, it's
They're craving these real foods so badly. They're craving meat so badly, they have to make fake meat.
The hoped for response, right?
Have you got anything exclusive to tell us?
Exclusive?
About kind of when...
Got anything exclusive to tell us?
Any other products in other countries?
I love the little effeminate swagger.
Still exclusively in Whole Foods in the United States. We are not able to keep up with the demand just in that chain, so it's going to be a while before it makes it over to Europe.
Great. Anything else exclusive that you can tell us about distribution or how you've been liaising with restaurants and companies?
Why don't you tell us about your Saudi royalty funding? How you have investors from Saudi royal families? How Prince Khalid, whose father owns a yacht that was used in a James Bond movie to be a James Bond villain's yacht. How he's been accused of human trafficking and how now he's pushing veganism on the Middle East and how I interviewed him. Can you talk about that? Okay, please. Let's continue.
The UK, and there were other chains that were interested, which are wonderful chains, but we felt like we really wanted to be in the mainstream. I've always said we want to democratize plant-based protein. We don't want to just be in what we would say in the US, the posh channels. We want to be available wherever protein is sold. And so for us, Tesco is a great launch partner. They've committed to putting it in both the protein section or the meat section, as well as in the freezer section.
I'm here with Derek Sarno, Tesco's head of plant-based innovation at the UK Beyond Burger launch. So how big a deal is this for the UK plant-based food scene?
This is
Let's see this guy eat.
very lucky to be one of the first people in the UK to try the Beyond Burger. Look at that.
So, I mean, how blessed is this guy to be in the UK and have straight teeth still, right? The dental caries and the dental decay in the UK are so rampant, right? And he's got decent jaw formation, right? Probably a little thin there on the lower jaw, just like mine. But, he's got straight teeth still. I don't know if he had to have, if he got orthodontic work or whatnot, but just totally degenerating his body and making it highly likely that if he ever has children, which a lot of these vegans won't because the sterility rates of vegan are out of control. A lot of them even sterilize themselves. Like the super virile and just most handsome. Ooh. Hello, Dr. Gregor. Dr. Gregor. Just this beautiful specimen of a man, Dr. Gregor. I mean, look at this beast of burden lifting that super heavy fork full of broccoli. Look at those teeth. Right? You got people like Dr. Gregor who openly promotes sterilization of vegans. Like, so in the vegan movement, it's kind of like a badge of honor, and one of the sacraments of the vegan religion is sterilizing yourself, because this is an anti-fertility cult, right? I mean, it's completely, this entire ideology is all based on metaphysical presuppositions. So many metaphysical presuppositions, and these people don't even realize it, right? They will criticize people for believing in God and a higher power when they themselves often hold the most absurd and self-contradictory New Age beliefs, or say that they're atheists, yet have so many metaphysical presuppositions and they're moral relativists, yet they claim that it's morally objective, that we need to not eat animals, that it's a moral issue. Even though they're moral relativists, they don't believe in true objective morality. You know, this guy, Dr. Greger, says that we should sterilize ourselves, especially vegans. He promotes sterilization and vasectomies. And I'm not just saying, like, I mean, I want to get a vasectomy just because I'm intimidated, because I know that if he has children, they will dominate and control my children, because look at this virile man. Look at the neck on that dude, right? So guys, I mean, I'm making jokes here. I'm taking some jabs, right? But this is the degeneration of our culture and of our children, and I have seen so many people harmed by this. I've seen families with kids where all the children are raised in a very, very healthy environment compared to, like, most big cities in the United States. Renato's tossing shekels. Thanks, dude. Thanks for that. That's the first super chat of the day. If you guys do want your questions answered, you can throw the super chats in there. He's just saying, good work, nice impressions, by the way. Right on, man. But, I mean, I want to sterilize myself just looking at Dr. Greger here. Just because I feel like an inferior man before this broccoli-wielding beast of burden carrying. Look at that huge fork. That thing looks heavy in his arms, So yeah, guys, I mean, the dental industry is making a lot of money on this, and Weston A. Price, who was actually a really morally straight up good dude, even though he was, living at a time when there was a lot of rampant degeneracy among the elite class of academia, right, and sociology. He was in a lot of circles with the British Royal Society and the Huxleys and all of these degenerate characters that were spreading degenerate culture. He was trying to help people out and figure out how can we stop the decay of these people's teeth, because he was sick of drilling and filling. He was sick of seeing kids' teeth decay all the time, and he wanted to help them out. So, I mean, we got a good dentist here. Dr. Weston A. Price started the American Dental Association, but the vegans will say, oh, he's a shill for the meat industry and the dairy industry. Which is absolute nonsense. They'll say, oh, the Eskimo populations that you're referencing, they have rampant tooth decay. Yes, that's what he was saying. As soon as they come in contact with your foods that you're trying to force on these populations, which will be cultural genocide and destroy their cultures, they get rampant tooth decay, tuberculosis, and they get diseases. But I mean, you got people like Dr. Greger promoting sterilization. This is why we promote eating meat and making families, guys. The first one we did, I call it Eat Meat, Make Babies. But somebody in the audience says, just making babies. There are people that make babies, but they don't make families. So I had to change it. Eat meat and make families, because that's what the message really has to be, right? Because real ancestral knowledge gets passed through families, gets passed through cultures. Unfortunately, most of our cultures have been degraded with the global monoculture, the Hollywoodization of the world. Right? Hollywood culture, degeneration, all over the world, especially since the 1960s with the sex, drugs, and rock and roll. The new British invasion seems to be vegan activists. They're somehow getting funded to do these protests all over the world. How is Joey Carb Strong have all this money to go to Israel all the time and talk to these troubled teens and try to brainwash them into his vegan ideology, telling them, oh, I used to be a junkie, I used to be a criminal, but look, now I'm a vegan, I got big old hungry crazy eyes. Don't think I'm crazy eyes. Former junkie crazy eyes. I know so many awesome former junkies, people who have been addicted to drugs and alcohol, who got their shit together and live good, fulfilling lives, right? But then there's always those few people, everybody knows one or two, that get off the crack, and they just got that vibe, that craven vibe, right? Like still carrying that spirit of oppression with them. It's insane. So you get people like him. Vegan is the new black, he says. What the hell is that? Right? Trying to co-opt other people, who might feel oppressed already. So he goes and he brings, how has he got these VR goggles? How has he got these thousands of dollars to be traveling all around the world all the time? Starting these protests. Who's funding this stuff? Well, you've got General Mills funding the Beyond Burger. You've got Saudi princes, which I laid out in several of my long broadcasts. Anyways, let's get back to the Beyond Burger review.
Yeah, all I can say is wow. Have you tried some? It's amazing. Oh my god. It tastes like McDonald's, but like in a good way.
Tastes like McDonald's. It tastes like McDonald's. Lovely. All right, now you've got Tyson Foods, one of the biggest producers, mass producers of processed meat, funding the Beyond Burger, funding the plant-based foods, because these companies ultimately, they're not adhering to any ideology as far as like diet nutrition. They don't care. It's about profit. And if you've got a sickly, dumbass population who will buy your processed foods all the time, who will buy your crap foods, then it's really, really easy.
What are you putting in your body? Dead carcass, pain, suffering, fear.
That's like, you get these degenerate vegan activists out there, and they'll do the work for you. You know, I mean, they'll promote.
We do a little bit of a cooking style video today and give you all some ideas for new vegans.
Self-proclaimed Earth's Hope. Check out the foods he's promoting.
I'm going to make a little sandwich. Get this in the pan.
Let's see what this is. Lunchtime. Joey Carb Strong. Crazy-eyed.
Okay, so what we got
Joey
here
Carb
is
Strong.
Vivera veggie chicken pieces. We're going to cook these up. I'm going to make a little sandwich. Get this in the pan. Alright, so just put a tiny bit of this stuff in. I don't really do the garlic that much. It's not. Oh, whoa, that might have been a little bit much. So yeah, just a little tiny bit. A bit of this rosemary, just a touch, just a little bit.
It's like the only real food he's including in his meal. Some rosemary.
So what Laura's got here is some mashed up tofu, and she's mixed it with some mayonnaise, some of this vegan mayonnaise, and some salt and pepper in there, and it sort of mimics an egg salad. Okay, obviously getting.
It's like, are you kidding me? Fake egg salad? All right. So anyways, guys, this is why we promote, and we call this stream the Eat Meat Make Family stream. So we're going to have another former vegan call in. This one might be a little bit more touching for you guys. We got a lovely lady who was on a vegan diet for 5 years, who had her ideology really degenerate her body and her and the health of even her children, which is something that we noticed as well with our child having dental caries. Our first kid, who's now 6 years old, she's about to get her adult teeth. Massive amount of dental caries when she first put the book away. When she first started getting her teeth. So let's see. So anyways, our daughter had dental caries when her teeth first started dropping. And that led us to looking into nutrition and realizing that the vegan diet we've been doing, the nutrient deficient, whole foods vegan diet with all our supplements, thousands of dollars of supplements, eating the spirulina, eating the wild grass powders, getting our B12 from patches and supplements, nutritional yeast. She had massive dental caries. We were able to stop those in their track from implementing a high-fat, nutrient-dense, ancestral-style diet, using foods like grass-fed butter, bone marrow, liver, heart. She loved kidney at the time. She doesn't like kidney anymore. She loves liver, and she'll eat steak any time of the day. So that's why we included an entire section on true ancestral foods on organ meats here in the Ketogenic Edge cookbook, the odd bit section. My wife's book, Jessica's book. She put in over 1.5 years of making this book. It was a labor of love, and we wouldn't be here sharing this with you today had our daughter not had to suffer through the dental caries, which stopped in the tracks when we started giving her good nutrition. She actually formed really hard teeth. She didn't have exposed pulp. Like, her teeth were so small that she would have had loads of exposed pulp, and it would have been super painful for her. But it stopped in its track, and they got covered over. And that little girl will bite you and hurt your ass. Like, she is a strong little girl, and if she bites, it freaking hurts. She's broken the skin. So the odd bit section, this is one of my favorite photos in the book. Beef heart, that's not a recipe, but we had to include that just because people have to understand that it is normal to handle meat. It's normal to make meat. So we've got an entire section on how to use these nutrient-dense foods that have been ancestrally used by every single culture in the history of man to raise healthy children, to maintain fertility rates, which are dropping like hotcakes. Hotcakes? Dropping like hot? Do hotcakes drop? I guess hotcakes drop when they come into my hands because I don't eat that shit. Give me a steak. But the fertility rates, the sperm count is dropping. And it's not just because of, it's not just because of environmental factors like having Dr. Greger to look at. You know, I mean, my sperm counts drop just looking at this guy because I know his are probably so high. Look at that. That's just like a virile man. If you show a picture of Dr. Greger to some of these isolated Eskimo tribes, they might drop to their knees and worship him. You know, I mean, look at that man. That man's man. One more picture of that. Look at that. Doing some side lateral raises with a spoonful of broccoli and peas and corn. I want to be on you, Dr. Greger. I want to be on you, boy. All right, I joke. That's fun to joke around. But this is serious topics, guys. The degeneration of our culture. So anyways, we do include a whole section on organ meats in the book here. One of my favorite recipes. You know, just learning how to make foods like liver, heart, seared heart steaks. There you go. You don't even have to buy the book. Just take a snapshot of that. Eat that. You know, make that recipe. That's a really good one. So it's 1 o'clock, and I think it's about time to do a call-in, guys. Who wants to hear a story of somebody who used proper nutrition, high-fat diet, ketogenic diet to recover from a nutrient-deficient diet? Jessica says she does. Ariana does. What are you guys doing down there? You better not be eating steak. No. We had so much steak last night, guys. Steak and bone marrow last night. That was dinner. It was freaking delicious. So let's see. Let me see here if I can get Bethany on the phone. Oops, wrong one. Bethany. All right, so Bethany has a really, really interesting story. She was on a vegan diet for quite a while, experienced some not so awesome effects of a vegan diet. Hey, Bethany, how's it going? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Awesome. Do you have video ability? Do you mind sharing video, or do you want to just do audio?
I can.
Cool.
I got my computer. It'd be probably better if I call back from my computer.
Yeah, call me right back. I'll be waiting. I'll just be jibber jabbering. I'll see you in a minute.
Yeah.
All right. So Bethany's gonna call in from her computer. Stoked to talk to Bethany. She's got a really, really cool story. Bethany, who used a high-fat diet, really high-quality diet to actually reverse the dental caries that you see so prominent in modern populations. Some of the degenerative diseases. Hey, Ryder, come talk. You want to come hang out? Come here. Come here, guys. Ryder needs some attention. Ari needs some attention. We got Ryder here. We got little chubby man Ryder. What's on your face, dude? Oh, you were eating those buttery biscuits that Mommy made, aren't you? Yeah. No? No?
Yeah, we were.
You want to come say hi too? Come here. Your lips are like green. What do you have that was green? All right.
It's stevia.
Stevia. She was eating stevia in the garden. All right. Let's see. Let's wait for Bethany to call back. So anyways, guys, and you see here some of the pictures of the Seminole Indians in Florida. Right? So there were certain populations that were not in contact with the modern tribes, or with modern foods, not in contact with the degenerate diet, not in contact with the plant-based diet, weren't getting brainwashed by Klaus from Plant-Based News or Stone James Aspie. I'm so chill. Let's go surfing and go smoke some bong rips and eat some vegan food, dude. I'm James Aspie, the sexy vegan, or Joey Cobstrong, crazy. You know, they weren't in contact with this degenerate colonialist diet, this mentality of you people are bad, you savages need to be told what you can eat, right? Which is the mentality of the vegan movement. They will destroy every culture in the world if they can. They will come here to the Amazon, which is just a few hundred miles away. Those are not little girls. One of those is a little boy, Mr. Real Big Nuts. That little boy's got bigger nuts than you. No, I'm kidding. He's just got long, wild hair. All little boys kind of look like little girls, don't they? But these are the Seminole Indians before they were in contact, and then after contact. Same genetic stock. Bethany.
Working?
Hey, we're good.
All right.
Awesome. Look at those kids in the background, eating meat and making families.
Yeah, the little one got a little luckier than my older one.
Yeah. So what happened? When did you start a vegan diet? Do you don't happen to have like a like headphones with a mic? Do you? Do you have headphones you could use?
I don't.
Okay. Just because the audio's the mic on your computer sucks a bit.
Is it not workable?
It was better on the phone because your phone had a better mic. The quality was better on the phone. Do you have video ability on the phone? Could you?
Yeah, I do.
Okay,
I can just do it.
let's try that. I'll jibber jabber for 2 more minutes. I'll wait for you to call on the phone. Sorry to dance around like this. You got such a beautiful countenance. You got a beautiful family. I want people to be able to share video, but also be able to hear you.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
All right. So, she'll be back. So there's the Seminole Indians when they're living off their natural food, eating a lot of, they would eat the sea cow. They would eat a lot of the animals, the native animals around the Florida region. But as soon as they come in contact with modern civilization, massive degeneration. Here are some of the Central Canadian, North American Indians, as he called them. I guess Native Americans, we must say now. Which, you know, zero respect for Native American communities within the vegan movement. Zero respect for anything. Right? Zero respect for any of the heritage of these people, these noble tribes who are living off of animal foods. As soon as they come in contact with Western society, become mouth breathers, their nose gets thin, their teeth rot out, they get tuberculosis. Of course, tuberculosis being mostly eradicated now, but also most of these people being eradicated now through the nonsense nutrition and cultural heritage destruction that's being promoted by people like, oh, I'm so chill, James asked me. James asked me to go smoke some bowls and go smoke a bong rip and go surfing, mate. And then we go, I did a 1 year vow of silence for the animals. I smoked loads of weed. I'm so sexy. I'm a former personal trainer, mate. You don't love animals. I do. There's Bethany. What's up? We're back.
All right. Is this one sounding better?
That's so much better. Awesome.
You say hi. You say hi.
What's up, dude? Look at that big boy.
Yeah, so I first went vegan in 2012. Me and my husband, when we were just dating at the time, and we watched Forks Over Knives.
Ooh, yeah. Shock, heart-wrenching, right? Like, you know, these the way that the food supply is so degenerated, they really get you there. And well, what's the option? What's the other option to this bad food supply?
They got me real hardcore, and I went like cold turkey overnight, and yeah. So yeah, in 2012 I did that, and then I was definitely not like ethical vegan by any means. Yep. It was just for health, so I was like, you know, here and there I'd have some meat, and I really couldn't give up tuna for some reason. Tuna was like my big one I couldn't stop eating.
Yeah.
So I did tuna and I did eggs because all the talk, pretty much the only thing the vegans would talk about is B12, even though there's like 50 nutrients you can't get. But B12 is the one, oh, you know, B12 is the only thing that we have to worry about. And
yeah,
so
right.
I'd eat eggs. Yeah.
How often?
I'd eat eggs for a while.
How often do you have eggs?
Oh, since once I started the vegan, I would like pig out on eggs. I mean, I would have like sometimes 10 in a row, like daily.
Yeah.
And then I watched, like, so then I got pregnant with my first daughter, and during that pregnancy is when I watched the all-famous We Are Earthlings.
Ooh, Earthling Ed. The Earthling Ed's, oh, you don't care about the animals, huh? Let's go get stoned and sit around and have a moment of silence for the animals, guys. Let's go get super high for the animals. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I watched Earthlings, and that made me quit the eggs, and I was like, okay, I'm doing it all the way. So then I was strict vegan from that point on.
I got a picture. This is a picture of when you were vegan that you sent me. Thanks a lot for sharing the photos. This was really awesome. So very big difference I see here. You know, I mean, like just looking at you now with, you know, obviously when you were vegan, much skinnier. Maybe that's
I was 90 pounds.
Wow.
5 feet tall and 90 pounds.
Wow.
And I thought I had it all. I had it figured out because I could eat as much as I wanted, you know, oil-free. I could just pig out on all the carbs, and I would eat so much food. And I was like, look, I figured it out. I can eat as much as I want. All you people are scared of these carbs. So I just pretty much just pig out on carbs. And yeah, I was emaciated.
Yeah. I mean, as far as like how you look now and how you look then, I mean, obviously very big difference. I think much of the audience would agree that like you didn't look like you were gonna be yielding children, like you didn't look like you were about to be having babies back then. But I mean, you did get pregnant though, right?
Yeah, I actually got pregnant right after that picture.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm impressed because I mean most women when they get so shredded like that, like you, dude, in that picture on the left, you're leaner than I am most of the time. I mean that looks so painful. Did you have pain?
No, I didn't have pain, but I was doing like I was doing no oil, no salt, no sugar, just like tons of potatoes, tons of grains. I was doing grains.
Yeah.
But the pain didn't come until after I had him and until the beginning of this year. Then the joint pain set in.
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
So you've had 2 kids. I mean, what made you question like the vegan thing? I mean, you thought it was rad. You were so skinny, and at that time, like when you were that thin, did you think that it looked good?
I thought I looked fine. I mean, everyone told me I was too skinny. My husband was like, my husband, by the way, never went vegan.
Yeah.
But my husband was like, this isn't good, babe. This isn't this can't be the perfect diet because you shouldn't be that skinny.
Yeah. So he wasn't, he loved you so much, but maybe wasn't as attracted to you at the time. Like, I mean,
He definitely wasn't. He was like, you gotta eat more. He was like, he'd be like, you gotta eat ice cream at least sometimes, like vegan ice cream. Like, get it a few times.
He's like, please let me just make you a smoothie. He's like 3 pints of Ben and Jerry's. I gotta fatten you up. Well, that's the thing is it's like, look, like I think a lot of people would agree that skinny, bony women are not attractive to most like healthy-minded men. I mean, maybe durian riders into it. But like, I mean, I'm not.
I think the same goes with men as well because all these vegan guys. I mean, some of them. Obviously, some people who just started out, they'll be like a few months in, and they'll be like, "I'm rocking the vegan diet, and look how buff I am." But the people who do it long term, they are so skinny.
What are you talking about? Have you seen Dr. Gregor? He's amazing.
Oh my gosh, I can't even believe he was my #1 source for information.
Really?
Like, no, it's embarrassing.
He's my #1 source for feeling insecure about my manhood. I look at that guy and I'm just like, I feel like I just want to give him my wife and children and say, raise them, take everything I have, sir.
Oh gosh, it's embarrassing. And his little slogan, I do the research so you don't have to. It's just like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, don't bother looking into this. I did it all. I know. I got a doctor in front of my name, Dr. Gregor.
Yeah, and even his whole team, they're delusional too. I still follow them to like see what kind of crap they're posting, but I commented on one of their things. He was saying that vegans have an advantage with like brain Alzheimer's. And I was like, what are you talking about? But Dr. Gregor himself said that vegans and vegetarians are like 5 times more likely to develop Alzheimer's in one of his talks. And they commented back, Dr. Gregor's team commented back and said, I don't think he ever said that. So I linked to his thing and they didn't respond, but yeah, they don't even, like he even said before.
They probably blocked you. I mean, they probably reported you for hate speech. That's crazy. All right, so what a journey. I'm so glad that you came on to share, your story. Like it's so important that people openly talk about this stuff because I mean, this is not just like, oh, Tristan's a jerk and he's like jealous of Dr. Gregor's virility and manhood and Durian Ryder's superior intelligence and physique. I'm not like I have had my family damaged by this. So do you want to go ahead and get into like kind of what you experienced? You mentioned something about your kids didn't really experience the most optimal health under a vegan regime.
Yeah. So yeah, when my daughter was born, I was able to breastfeed her. I breastfed her till she was 3 when my son was born. But I mean, she wasn't like by the time she was 18 months, most of her calories were from vegan food, and then a little bit supplemented with breast milk. But around that time, I just like there's something different with how she had like her meltdowns. Like it just seemed like she was not at all like emotionally at ease or stable or anything like that compared to other kids that I had. And I come from a family of 10 kids.
Wow.
So I kind of am used to like what normal would be, Yeah. And my daughter just didn't really fit it. And of course I was avoiding all the mean, we did no drugs whatsoever, and yeah. So I was like, it was just confusing to me for a long time.
What was it? What were the meltdowns like? Like, what was the behavior that was bothering you?
She got, once she was weaned, so right when he was born last year around August, a year ago, we would have like 5 to 6 like extreme meltdowns, like 45-minute long cry sessions overnight. So it'd be, nothing happened. Like her spoon fell on the floor.
Oh, wow.
And it was just a cry fest over and over. Like, oh my gosh. And then she started having night terrors. She'd wake up in the middle of the night, like 4 or 5 times a night. Sometimes she'd be up having a night terror for 10, 15 minutes straight. A night terror, you can't even, they don't respond to you because they're asleep, but they're like having a nightmare and they're living it, like awake.
Yeah, I used to get night terrors as well. I remember some of the specific stories, like my neighbors telling me when I was 10 years old that I was screaming and swearing in my sleep, screaming. Yeah. Oh, can you hear me?
Oh, it just cut out.
Can you hear me now? How we doing? Let me turn off my video on our. I'll turn off my video on our call just so we have better bandwidth. Can you hear me? We good? Uh-oh. Let's see. Uh-oh. You guys, the Leguminati is trying to... All right, there we go. We're good. Yeah, I turned off my video so that we got more bandwidth.
Okay.
All right, cool. So, yeah, the night terrors, I used to get those too as a kid. Just terrible, horrible, very frightening.
Yeah. Yeah, it was crazy. Me and my husband were just like, what's the deal? And I kept thinking there's got to be something nutritionally going on. But I'm like, but I'm doing the best diet that there is. So I got to just add another supplement, or I got to like improve our absorption of these, minerals and everything. So I never actually questioned veganism. I just questioned how well I was doing it.
Yeah.
So we were on so many supplements. We were always methylcobalamin B12. We did vitamin C. We did barley grass juice powder all the time. We did methylfolate. Always had make sure she had a healthy fat. So hemp, chia, or flax, and always avocado. I mean, I don't know. We went off grains too. So a lot of people be like, oh, it's just the grains. They just mess up. You get the wheat belly and it messes with your gut bacteria. So we tried grain-free for a while and it didn't really make any difference. So we loved our sprouted bread, so we always went back to the grains.
Yeah. Oh, getting a little interference there. So you started cutting out. You're talking about the grains. You cut out the grains, which is the first thing a lot of people do when they're looking at improving their nutrition. It's usually a really good idea. The problem is, what do you replace the grains with? So what did you replace the grains with?
Just more lentils. Lentils.
Yeah, like more things that'll make you fart.
Yep. And potatoes. We were big on the baked potatoes. Of course, no oil, so it's not gonna cause any problems because there's no oil.
The only way that you could ever get me to eat a baked potato is you smother it in butter. Like, you got to fill that thing with butter and salt to make it delicious.
Yeah. So then her teeth started just really deteriorating, and they had like pits. So the two front ones, they were discolored, but then they had huge dents in them. And I sent a picture of her teeth.
Yeah, the typical dental caries.
Yep, just big old dents, and then I'd like. Yes, what vegans have been telling me, oh, you must not have been brushing her teeth.
Yeah, you must have been breastfeeding too much, right? The doctors, you're breastfeeding. It's nonsense. Yeah. It's not breastfeeding, and it's not hygiene. And Weston Price in this. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So
it's not a topical problem.
I'm showing a picture right now of before and after the teeth on the live stream. So you got a picture of the top is before, like this is the image you sent me, and then after. Yeah. So what happened? Did you take more B12, or you get some? You eat more bananas? Or how'd you fix your teeth? Like, there's a dramatic difference.
I know, it's dramatic, and that was like a couple months in. We're still only 3 months into eating animal products again. So, I mean, we still got a ways to go, I'm sure. But yeah, that was those two pictures. That was in March. The first one's in March.
Yeah.
And then that next one, is just in June, I think.
Yeah, looking way better.
After, yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I scrape her teeth with like the metal scrapers, and we had like so many different toothpaste. We tried homemade ones with bentonite clay and with activated charcoal and baking soda and coconut oil, all those natural remedies. So, yeah. Yeah, and then I just, so when it was finally, the final straw was my daughter kept getting sick this year. Yeah. And it was over the holiday, over Valentine's Day. And she had like a 3-week cough that now lasted every night. So we kept missing our sleep. So she'd wake up and cough for like 20 minutes. And so then that's when my joint pain set in. And so I started having elbows, forearms, wrists, knees, shins, ankles, everything just hurt. And it hurt really bad too. It wasn't just like a little ache. It was like painful joint pain. And I was like, man, this sucks for her ruining our sleep. That's what's causing this joint pain. And then she got over her cold and the joint pain never went away. And it was 2 solid months of 24/7 horrible joint pain. Well, then my son was like so painful, walking down the stairs, going up the stairs, everything hurt. I was like 9 years old.
That's so crazy.
I mean, it hurt really bad. So I was like, this is not right. There's nothing else I could try. I'm not going to just keep going at it. And then I was like, okay, well, it could be the diet. This is just too painful and too severe for it to be some minor tweak that I can do. So then I just went on YouTube and I wanted to see if there were ex-vegans. I actually didn't think there were ex-vegans. I knew it was like...
Why would anybody go back after becoming enlightened,
Exactly. And I wasn't like one of those vegans who really was trying to convert everyone, because it was just about our health mostly. So I wasn't really, into the whole battle thing. I was just doing it because I thought it was the healthiest thing. And I didn't think anyone had legitimate arguments against it. I just the only one was protein or B12, and I was like, well, I'm taking B12, so yeah.
Exactly. I used to think the same thing. It was a joke. It's like, where do you get your protein? Oh, I get B12. I eat nutritional yeast. I'm taking methylcobalamin. I'm doing, I take my vitamin D. It's like, but no, I'm getting vitamin A from carrots. It's very different.
There's no vitamin A. That's a huge one. There's no vitamin A. Not even a drop in plants. Uh-huh. But you'll never hear talking about that.
And that's the fat-soluble vitamin A, right? So you got several different forms of vitamin A. The most important one being fat-soluble vitamin A. Fat-soluble vitamin A completely... And this is a picture, guys, of a pig that's born without eyes and blind because the mother had a lack of vitamin A and its central nervous system, his brain doesn't form right. If they give that pig's mother a single dose of vitamin A, it'll partially form a retina. Okay, so this is we're dealing with such intensity of nutrient deficiency here that in other animals that are closer to us genetically than mouses and rats, where they do studies, you can create blindness and retardation and in full retardation of the growth of the eyes to where they don't even have eyes. And we're depriving ourselves of these nutrients because we think it's spiritual.
Yep. Oh, it's so crazy. It's terrible.
So you found...
And there are people who contribute to it. I don't know what her name is, but I think when she was vegan, she was the blonde vegan or something, and then she switched to the balanced blonde or something like that. I remember her distinctly. But so many, a few people would openly, stop being vegan, but they would never say, oh, I don't think this diet is adequate. They just see it didn't work for me. And so any vegan will just stop listening right then and there. They'll be like, oh, well, don't need to listen to this story because
you're weak. You're weak. You're weak in will, and you give into the carnal sin, the carnal pleasure of wanting the mouthfeel of meat because you're addicted to it, because you're a wuss. That's what I would have thought.
Yep. And then and that's the only stories I've ever heard where people saying, I think it's still an adequate diet, it just didn't work for me. So then I just not even listen from then on, because I'd be like, okay. And I wasn't someone who liked meat in the first place. I never missed meat whatsoever, and it was so easy to go off of dairy. And when I started eating, the first thing after a while, I found ex-vegan videos from the Sparage guy.
Yeah, I'm about to I got to interview Sparage soon. I finally got in touch with him. We've been in touch trying to set it up for a while. He was traveling, and everybody says, why don't you interview Sparage? You guys, I'm not trying to encroach. I know Sparage has been doing ex-vegan interviews for a long time. Got to do a big shout out to Sverige. He's one of the only people out there saying this veganism stuff is dangerous. And, you know, I mean, it's very, very important. So I'm going to talk to Sverige perhaps on Friday if he'll agree. Let's try to, you guys message Sverige, tell him to come on Friday. Or next week, whenever he'll do it. But yeah, Sverige, he's really funny. Some of his videos are hilarious. I can't wait to talk to him and hear his story, because I don't really know much about him. But yeah, you found Sverige. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, I actually don't know how I came upon it. I was just looking, for ex-vegan stories, and I came upon his. And I was just like, oh my gosh, you gotta be kidding me. This is true. Like, it just rang true immediately when what he was saying and how obvious it was. Like, you got, you know, the government, most vegans think that the government doesn't want them to be vegan. That's like
Bill Gates. Right.
But like, even if you go through like even the nutritionfacts.org, he'll often talk against like pharmaceuticals and the medical industry, and like he'll say, you know, the medical industry would like to have you think that you can't heal yourself. So kind of like setting it up for people who are health conscious, and like if you don't take their drugs and you don't, you know, do the vaccines and all this,
you're edgy. Yeah, you're like edgy, you know, you're like anti-authority. You're like, screw that, I'm not going to be a slave to the system. I'm going vegan, bro. And that's why they get guys like James Aspie. You get the stoner vibe, you know, like, oh, James Aspie is just like, I just ripped some fat bong loads. I'm gonna go surfing before I eat my vegan tofuki. You know, it's like you get these characters, Joey Carb Strong, like they have a specific look. You know, it's like there's the edgy, you get the tats, right? Like you're edgy, you're cool, you're anti-authority. Screw the government, go vegan. But Bill Gates, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Tyson Foods, you know, I mean, come on. You got like all the government organizations are promoting plant-based diets, including the UN, who've been promoting it since 1993 with Agenda 21 sustainability agreements, which are all about putting everybody on austerity diets under Monsanto rule. So Monsanto loves it. It's a wet dream for Monsanto to have everybody eating their food directly rather than eating the cows that they've already taken over. They've already destroyed the dairy industry, which is another straw man, right? They say, oh, well, you're a shill for meat and dairy. And that book, Nutrition and Physical Degeneration, Crazy Cressy says that I'm making fun of surfers. Hey, I love surfers. I grew up on the beach, man. I'm just making fun of Aspie. Yeah, Nutrition and Physical Degeneration, this guy is not a shill for the meat industry. There is no meat industry. It's run by Monsanto and Cargill, who sell their cellulose products to the producers and have consolidated that already. Now they want to cut out the middleman, reclaim the land being used for that, crowd us into crowded cities, and this is all in the Agenda 21 guidelines. And it's not edgy to be vegan.
And they're gonna obviously, like, people who are 40 and 50, and they're not gonna be able to brainwash all them into going vegan, but at least they're gonna be eating the crap animal products, and they're gonna be sick anyways. They're gonna be taking the drugs. Yeah. They're gonna be vaccinating. They're gonna be doing everything else they want them to do. And then they've got the younger generation completely brainwashed into thinking that it's so immoral to raise animals and to kill them.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, if vegan went up 600% in the last 3 years, I think.
Yeah. Why? And where's this money coming from? You look at Saudi royalty putting billions of dollars into this. You got Prince Khalid, whose father owns some of the biggest mansions in the world. One of the biggest degenerates in the world, international arms dealer, like, you know, owns a James Bond villain's yacht. That's what is the yacht is called? Oh, I forget the name. The name was hilarious. It was like, it sounds like a Bond villain's yacht. But yeah, he bought this yacht from Donald Trump in the 1980s. Before that, it was owned by this other like super billionaire guy. I mean, these are people who are not. These are not like they call themselves philanthropists. But Bill Gates openly talks about how he wants to reduce the population, especially of Africa, and how the biggest problem is that there's Africans breeding to Bill Gates. So we just got to go help him out and decrease the population by 90 to 95% because it's unsustainable. You know. You're farting, we got to tax you. We got to tax the methane that comes out of your butt. Well, vegans fart more than anybody. How much more did you fart on your vegan diet than now that you're eating meat?
Oh my gosh. I thought I was all proud of my daughter having to go to the bathroom 5 times a day.
Oh,
she had healthy bowel movements. You know, she has, you know, she's got to go to the bathroom 3 to 5 times a day was common, and they were healthy. But are you kidding me? That just means you have more garbage. You're eating garbage because all your body can do with it is dump it.
Yep, exactly. And, you know, fiber, we were taught that fiber is the ultimate health food, right? I'm pulling up a picture right now from PETA. You know, so PETA is also really targeting the younger generation, the younger kids. This is you're probably not watching the stream. You're probably just talking to me on Skype. Thanks again. Really, thanks a lot for coming on. It's so nice to have like well-spoken, intelligent people to converse with and to share their experience and to speak out against this, because it's really, really important. Here's the Fight Impotence, Go Vegetarian picture from PETA. You know, it's like, and she's got a hot dog in her hand, a limp hot dog. It's just the most ridiculous image. You know, hypersexualization. They're using the Hollywoodization. You know, here's another picture with some celebrity. I don't even know who these people are. And she's got her body's like all chopped up into sections, like shoulder, round, loin, ribs, chuck. And it says, all animals have the same parts. So they want you to believe that animals are people. Right? There's this constant mixing in of like, well, if you care and you're compassionate, you won't hurt animals. And then they even had, PETA did this Holocaust ad where they said during the 7 years between 38 and 45, 12 million people perished in the Holocaust, which is, I thought it was 6 million. They're doing some revisionism there. But then they say the same numbers of animals died every 4 hours for food in the U.S. alone. The Holocaust on your plate. So, and then they show a Holocaust victim, or just a victim of a really skinny guy that you assume is a Holocaust victim, somebody who was starving, and then they show a picture of a goat. So it's like, oh, that's the same. Right? They're telling you that that's the same thing, a goat, a person. Your kid is just like a cockroach. Right? You're just an animal. Your child's life is as valuable as a cockroach. We're all animals. We are not... We're just big pink monkeys, and if you kill a pink monkey, you know, if you'll kill a cockroach, then you'll slaughter a child, they'll say. You know, just really horrific imagery that they brainwash you with.
Yeah, I'm sure you have, but have you seen the vegan gains guy?
Yeah, dude. I mean, just total degeneracy, right? Like, violent tendencies. Yeah. Crazy.
I mean, he straight up says he hates children and he wants them all to die. And he's got a vasectomy, but he is mentally deranged.
Yes, and low cholesterol is associated with higher rates of violent crime. Low cholesterol being associated with suicide, violence, and murder. You know, I mean, this is something that people don't talk about, but this is why we see these psychotic vegan activists, and they're promoting what they call abolitionist approaches. And they have these principles. If you look at the abolitionist approach to veganism, they talk about the abolitionist approach links the moral status of non-humans with sentience alone and not with any other cognitive characteristic. All sentient beings are equal for the purpose of not being used exclusively as a resource. So they're like, you know, all sentient beings are the same. A cockroach and a cricket are the same as a cow, a human, a baby. So, and they want complete abolition of eating animal products, and they call it exploitation. They get Noah Cyrus, this poor little abused child who's probably been, who knows what's been done to some of these kids in Hollywood who go into these PETA ads. I'm not a classroom experiment. Neither are cats, frogs, pigs, or other animals killed for dissection. So it's like, you know, these hypersexualized kids who are already abused, these poor Disney kids, they're comparing them to animals, dehumanizing them, and dehumanizing us through brainwashing, telling us that we're just animals, we're just pink monkeys and cockroaches, and we can, you know, we're all the same, and we got to abolish the exploitation of animals. Well, what about the exploitation of people and the using humans as resources in order to feed the billions of dollars that are the $1 billion of corporations that are funding this agenda? You know, we don't see any vegans talking out about Monsanto. Why not? Why don't they care?
Yeah.
So all right. So back to your story. Back to your story. You started looking. You found ex-vegans. What was the first animal food you ate?
The first animal food was eggs. Just nice. Easy. I mean, since I love them anyways. But yeah, I got eggs. Just real quick, got eggs, raw dairy, butter, and just started downing those. I did a few days of like cooking eggs, but I wanted to do raw eggs. So then the main thing we were just doing was drinking eggnog, raw eggnog. So raw milk with raw eggs and melted butter.
That's awesome,
trying to get the soluble vitamins in as well. I mean, we had to make up for lost time. So yeah, we just started having like 2 of those a day.
Your body was craving it? Did your body want it?
Oh yeah, and within 5 days, literally 5 days, my joint pain was completely gone. Not even just it was gone. Like there was no pain at all.
Wow. That's
5
amazing.
days. From 2 months straight, of just horrendous joint pain. I was even considering I might have like leukemia or something.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I was just like looking at my symptoms, you know, and yeah.
Yeah. If you get on Google and Google will freak you out and thinking you got cancer, you're dying of every disease. That's crazy. You guys everybody who's watching, don't go Google doctoring all your symptoms, because it can lead you into total fear. And then you start getting testing. Someone's going to be able to find something to diagnose you. And there's someone who's willing to radiate you right away, I'm sure. You know, this Google doctoring can be dangerous, huh?
Yep.
That's crazy. So you started assimilating those nutrients?
Like my first sip of milk, I had to legitimately force myself to drink it. I mean, because it had only been like 3 or 4 days since I thought veganism was like the only way. So there was not really a point of time where I was like considering it. I was just like, I saw it and I was like, crap, this is the truth. And so then I like went and got it. And so I was like forcing myself to drink it. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is what I think of, like, this is liquid pus. This is like poisonous. And then I like drank it and I was fine, obviously. And then the same with my first steak. My husband like picked it up and I was like, oh, I don't even want to eat this, but I got to do it. And I was like forcing myself. But that didn't last very long. It's
so funny because we can literally program this vessel to reject proper nourishment and proper nutrition and be afraid of it. You know, there's so many people. We've got friends who have kids, 4 of them, who are all nonverbal, totally autistic, and they won't give them any animal products. Both of the parents' teeth are like rotting out of their face. They're obese, but it's gross. You know, we can't eat meat. We can't handle it. It tastes like rubber. It's not sustainable. It takes so much water to feed a cow. This is one of these stupid talking points where it's like, what the hell are you talking about? Whose water are you speaking of? Are you talking about the river that's running right next to my home that we can drink from, that these cows can drink from freely?
The fact that cows can eat grass.
Right?
Literally grass.
No, but it takes so much water to grow the grass. It's like, you mean the water that falls from the sky? You think the water disappears once it goes into the cow and it's just like gone into a black hole? This is the disconnect that people have. They have no idea where their food comes from. When I was vegan and I moved to Ecuador, it was amazing because it was like suddenly it's like, wow, none of these people are vegan. They all have more energy than me. The ones who actually work are up in the mountains all day. They don't even eat. They don't need any food. And they're all eating meat, like maybe not a lot of meat, a lot of them, because they've been sold on the processed foods too. But I was just like, damn, like these people have cows and raw milk and goats. And then I was trying to figure out, well, all right, if I was to feed my family and I was to produce their food, I would have like this huge garden. I'm going to grow kale and do juicing. And then it's like, and then I was looking, I was like, you know what? These people just have a few cows on like 1 acre. They have like 5 cows on 1 acre, and they can eat just that and feed multiple families. Whereas if I want to grow my own vegan food, there's not, like, what am I going to do? I can't.
It'd be impossible to live off your land being vegan.
Anybody who's ever grown a garden understands that. But of course, most vegans have never had a garden. Most vegans have no idea where their food comes from. Most vegans are eating total trash soy crap.
Yep. Yeah, it's terrible.
So butter, you're soaking up the butter, soaking up the raw milk, the full fat dairy, and you felt better.
Yep, right away. Yeah, I was like night and day, and that gave even more like, wow, this is so terrible. And so, yeah, my daughter's teeth started to improve. It took a few weeks to notice anything visually with her teeth, and then after a month and a half, they were like definitely a lot better. I've not had any organ meats yet, and I'm really wanting to try that and have that regularly. But
cool. I'm gonna I'll send you the ebook copy of our book. Like, so there's like a whole section on organ meats here. I want to give it to you. There's
awesome.
The best thing to do is try heart first, which, look, I mean, doesn't that look delicious? No. To me, that looks delicious. My daughter thinks it looks delicious. She loves raw heart. But raw liver, raw heart, kids love it. But the recipes in the book are obviously not raw liver and heart, because that's just, you cut up the liver, you cut up the heart, and you eat it. But yeah, liver and heart are great. I definitely got to get into organ meats. But you know what? There's a lot of people who are just doing muscle meat and salt. And while I don't think that's the best, and if I do that, I don't feel as good as if I'm eating organ meats and if I'm getting full fat dairy, especially seasonal good butter. Like, I feel amazing when I'm getting these high fat good foods. And I'm not talking about just going over to Kroger's Foods or going over to Safeway and getting like some low quality butter. Like, food quality does matter, and Weston Price in his book talks about this. So definitely suggest anybody watching this, any current or former vegans who want to learn about nutrition and some of these practices that every single society has used, and that he used to do exactly what she did that you see in the picture here, where she reversed the dental caries of her kids. He was actually reversing behavioral and psychological issues, like you see in a lot of these vegan hacktivists. He was reversing behavioral issues in kids in boys' homes through giving them cod liver oil and high vitamin butter oil, which is basically just like a ghee extract where they centrifuge it. But you could do the same thing with good grass-fed butter and something like cod liver oil, where you're getting vitamin A and vitamin D, and you will be able to remineralize teeth, and the dentin can actually harden. Again, I'm not a doctor. If you want a doctor, you go to Dr. Greger, you go to the medical establishment, you have to give a disclaimer, that everything that the government says is true and correct, and everything that we say is wrong, because we're just idiots, serfs, and we know nothing. But, these are things that people have done, and he showed in this book that he could reverse dental caries as well and make their teeth get hard again, and make because you get pulp inside there, and it gets exposed. If they get the dental caries going up, they get real sensitive. So all these vegans, they're talking about, they've got sensitive teeth. I don't know why. Like the Vegetable Police. Anybody who's watching, please watch the Vegetable Police's recent videos. He's on a journey, guys, and give that dude some support. These vegans are out there gaslighting him into feeling guilty and shameful about leaving their cult. And he just wants to get well and healthy, but he's been gaslit into this as well. He feels guilty. He ate a cricket and felt so bad about it, and his eyes lit up, he said. So, this guy is trying to deal with, he's got sensitive teeth, he's degenerating, and he wants to get off his diet. He's finally doing a high-fat vegan diet, but he's still eating all these nuts and fiber. This dude needs to, figure out how to, go watch his recent videos. Anybody who wants to see current vegans degenerating and questioning it. So awesome. So 3 months, and you feel way better. You look 1,000 times better. From the picture,
thanks,
pull up this picture again. You got audience members are perving out. Be nice, guys. Come on. She's a mama. She's a mama. Don't be a perv. But yeah, she looks great. She's healthy. She's happy. She's intelligent. Somebody just said they bought a 5-pound beef heart for $13. That's cool. I get a beef heart for like $5 here in Ecuador. Woo! But they're like 2 pounds though. They're not massive cows. They don't have these big old crazy cows here, but they're grass fed. So yeah, guys. Go ahead.
I wonder about all the well-known vegan YouTubers. Lots of vegans, they never hear this side of it, but I'm sure the YouTubers have been told about it. Even Ellen Fisher. How does she not know what she's doing? It's just crazy to me with her kids,
Yeah.
And then
so Ellen Fisher, does Ellen Fisher do she does a raw food diet with her kids, right?
Pretty high raw. But they do some cooked.
It's frightening.
My little guy gets pretty anxious here.
Yeah. Well, maybe. No worries. Yeah. So 3 months non-vegan, completely reversing all the degeneration that you saw in a vegan diet. Thank you so much for sharing the story. I appreciate it so much. I could ask you questions for hours, but I've told myself I'm going to keep these streams to 2 hours, because if I do them for too long, I feel unhealthy, because it's not good to be in front of the computer for so long and doing this. So I think I'm gonna wrap it up with you here. I really, really appreciate you coming on and sharing your story. You're somebody says she's a happy, healthy, not vegan.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I'm Ryan, and I'm Angie, and we're a happy, healthy vegan. So yeah, I wish that more people would come out and speak about some of these issues, and I think it's really it's brave of you to talk about it, and I really appreciate you leaving the cult. It's for the health of your kids and all the future generations, and of society in general. I think it's really important that we talk about these things, that we talk about these issues. This is not just a intellectual territory posturing thing. This is like a degeneration of society and humanity thing. And literally the future generations are at risk, and all these beautiful cultures that Weston Price studied are under threat, are under direct threat, and have already been degenerated by these diets. But if the vegans had their way, they would come in here and evangelize to the highland folks of the Andes, the Quechua of the Andes, who have flocks of llamas and alpaca, and that's all they live on. They would come in here and they would tell these tribes in the Amazon that live almost exclusively off fish and animals with some fruits and tubers that they are bad savages and that they need to eat soy burgers. So it's like, you vegans out there, you think that you're fighting for social justice when you're the most racist, hateful people in the world. And you are literally destroying cultures and entire races with your ideology of colonialism, doing the bidding of big pharma and big agriculture. And all you vegans out there who are watching this, please take note of the degeneration that you can deal with in your body and in your health, and stop telling yourself it's detox. You're not detoxing, you're slowly dying. You got any other thoughts, Bethany?
No, it's just kind of funny that everyone who I associated with who wasn't vegan, they at least thought that what I was doing was like a good thing, you know, and then it was like, oh, they could just never do it. But now they eat less animal products than I do, and they still are along the lines of like, you know, I'm just going to limit it. Like so many people still, even if they're still eating meat and dairy and stuff, they're going to think that those are bad choices that they're making, which just sucks.
I totally agree. Yeah, people think that it's still bad. Well, oh, I shouldn't be vegan, but meat's still bad. This is nonsense, guys. You have to look deeper. Animal products and animal foods are not bad. You've been duped. We've all been duped. I've been duped. I have suffered for it, and I nearly died from it. And I am so blessed that I'm alive right now. And I'm so blessed to still be here right now because of getting back on a nutrient-dense, healthy diet. And I'm so blessed that my daughter's teeth didn't suffer and that she's going to have a big, full mouth of healthy adult teeth soon. And that our son, our second child, born with perfect teeth, no issues at all. So it's not a genetic thing. It wasn't because of breastfeeding or of improper brushing. Our son screams and cries when we brush his teeth once a day. Not a single piece of anything going on his teeth. He hates getting them brushed. And then he screams and cries because he thinks he's supposed to, and then he brushes them himself. It's super funny. But anyways, guys, this is Eat Meat and Make Families stream, and I'm going to let Bethany go here, and then we'll maybe wrap up, and I'll jibber-jabber for a little bit more. But thank you so much. You got a lovely family there. You got an awesome life and an awesome setup, and I'm really appreciative of you coming on and sharing your experiences and sharing your story. I'm going to send you a copy of the Ketogenic Edge cookbook, and also I'll send you a copy of this one too. We got the ultimate guide to low carb baking, another shameless plug for my wife's book. This one's really cool for the kids because you can just stuff these recipes full of nutrient dense foods, and you can use some of these bridge foods like coconut flour and stuff like that to actually get them to eat the healthy fats that you're trying to get them to eat. So the baking book's also good for kind of helping friends and family transition into a more high-fat diet that's nutrient-dense. But this one right here, hopefully you could check out some of the organ meat recipes in there, and the resources section can help source organ meat. So Bethany's out there eating meat and making families, regenerating the body after a degenerative diet. And, I think your community and your friends and family are all going to benefit from your journey and from you sharing and speaking up about it. So thank you so much for what you do, and thank you so much for getting in contact with me and for coming on the stream. Please, I've got your email already, so I'll email you those soon. I got crying babies here too. We got both of our sons can cry together. Later, Bethany. Have a good one. All right. There it is, guys. Eating meat, making families. So, Bethany regenerating her kids' teeth. Great story, huh? Really good story. So this has been a really fun trip. I could keep going. We could talk about this joke-ass group called PETA, which is really funny. I mean, we could even get a little bit deeper into nutrition and physical degeneration. Where'd the photos go? Where'd preview? Oh, I lost my pictures. But yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap it up. Anyways, the next session of the Keto Collective is starting July 29th. Actually, last session of the Keto Collective, we had quite a few awesome people. Megiddo Jones says Tristan is the real life regenerator. Oh man, have you seen that guy lately? I saw a video of him after his 40-day water fast. Dan, the life regenerator. Dan, the life regenerator. Dan, the human degenerator. Really, really sad. Another guy latched onto veganism after, drug and alcohol addictions. Instead of finding true deep spirituality and a connection to the Creator, right? Instead of finding a real connection to life, a real belief in a higher power, a real connection to the truth and to God, he ended up finding veganism, making that his God, and he's doing 40-day water fasts. And I'll pull up a video because this is just, we got to check out Dan the Life Regenerator. And after his 40-day fast, this is just alarming. So this guy, now this is right after the fast. He gained weight after this and didn't look so bad, but he's pushing the supplements. He's pushing the fasting, intense fasting. All right. So this is why, like, I'm not too into the major promotion of fasting. The intermittent fasting, it's a cool tool, but when you're starting to get into this long-term fasting stuff, people take it to extremes, and they use it to really justify eating disorders quite often. So here's Dan.
Here, the Life Regenerator is back, baby. I'm going to talk about my 40-day water fast. I got a ton of questions on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. Before I do, I'm going to take care of my responsibility, get that out of the way. Today's my birthday, and every year I have a birthday sale. This year, we're having the Lifetime of Work sale. So everything I've ever produced right now is only $77. I'm going to run.
That's his music too, guys. I'm not adding the creepy music. This is his like spiritual music.
So you don't miss this opportunity.
This is crazy.
To get all this information. Okay, and I'm going to tell you just a couple things about it.
Got them Joey Carb strong eyes there.
Lifetime of Work birthday sale. It's going on for the next week. You get all 18 of the online classes. And that's a range from, gourmet raw all the way to juice fasting. Can you dig it? It's all in there. Organized and categorized. 30-day Living Foods Transformational Program. That's the recipe book with like 3.
Okay, so really, I mean, it's sad. It makes me want to cry looking at that. Really, really frightening. I mean, it's just nuts, guys. I mean, we're seeing a very, very big push for veganism now. And, in the last Keto Collective, we had an awesome lady. Shout out to Sabine, who joined the Keto Collective. She was a long-term vegetarian, and she was so skinny. She was so skinny, and she just had, massive amounts of pain, emotional disruption. There's just so many issues before on her vegetarian diet, and then she went on high-fat diet, started getting improper nourishment, started eating meat again, and totally regenerated and actually got to a healthy weight, not this scrawny, gonna die freely the banana girl weight. And so that was really cool. So the next Keto Collective, that's starting on July 29th. That's week after Sunday. It's a community coaching, live community coaching. We use Discord server. We do at least 2 live voice interactive sessions per week. So it's actually a way that, I get a lot of private coaching requests. It's a way that we're able to take on the amount of clientele that we get requests for and create like a really fun community-based setting where people can support each other and learn from each other's experiences. So that's really fun. That's starting on July 29th. There's a link in the description. You can hit us up at primaledgehealth.com if you want to get down on the Keto Collective. But this vegan stuff is crazy, man. It's just like this. When you look at the stuff that these people are putting out, it's nonsense. I found this. There's this really funny. Here, we'll do one more funny vegan video, okay? Just one more, and then we're gonna get out of here. It's been 2 hours almost. I try to keep these under 2 hours. Let's find it. Here we go. It's not playing. This was on some vegan page. I don't know what he's smelling on his finger. He's so spiritual. He has his mudras on his finger. He's smelling the mudra. He's smelling his karma from his third eye on his finger.
Masculinity is dead.
Oh, you said it.
Masculinity is dead. What do I mean by that? I'm talking about the old concept and the old program of the armored, emotionally unavailable, and fully narrow-minded masculine. It's dead. It's dying. It's decaying. It no longer serves humanity. It no longer serves women. It no longer serves sons and daughters. It no longer serves the economy. It no longer serves the planet. Old hat masculinity is dead. It's gone. It's dead. I love all the men in my life. Dad, Uncle Hank, everyone in my life from Texas.
Dad,
gave me those
Dad.
lessons. And I reject your program. And I tap into my own, which is from the heart and from the soul and from an awakened masculine. Just the new game. The new game is how open can I be with my heart? How much can I serve women? How much can I serve children? How much can I serve living on purpose? And guess what? My armor is coming off. I want to feel. I want to be emotionally available. I want to be emotionally intelligent. And I'm still going to be a warrior. I'm still going to be a killer of false programs and identities. I'm still going to be a businessman and a father and a lover and a powerful...
Mostly a lover, right? You could it's like, mostly, I'm here for the women. Let's see what else this dude's all about. Bruh. This is the thing. It's like this is like a full-on cultural barrage of nonsense. Like all this new age shit. All these fools trying to like just recreate the '60s. Right? What's up with like why is Elliot Hulse out there becoming Osho Jr. spreading this Rajneeshi sex crap? You Kundalini, bro. I got Kevin here who's gonna help y'all Kundalini rise, ladies. Get you on that vegan diet. Get you on that Kundalini rising. Sniffing the mudra from his finger. Let's listen. Let's see what's up. Look at the guy on the right. His buddy over there. He's got some Joey Carb strong eyes.
Why do men never want to ask for directions? Why is that? Maybe because the masculine purpose is all about navigation, creation of boundaries, containers, and strong purpose. When you're a woman and you're asking a man, hey, go ask for directions. Where the fuck are we going? Please direct me.
So edgy. Did you hear the F-bomb? He's edgy still.
You're actually challenging his purpose. That's why he says, no, I got this, babe. I remember that last gas station. Let's go 12 more stops ahead. I'll figure it out on the way.
I hate you, Dad. I hate my dad. He's such a jerk. Here you go. You guys, this guy's a coach, by the way, guys. If you guys want some coaching, make sure to hit him up. He'll give you live Kundalini coaching, especially if you're a chick. You get like 50% off if you're a hot lady. Let's see. Let's check out a live coaching session. This is too much fun. Come on.
Hola, familia.
Damn, did you hear that, dog? Elle habla español muy bien.
Session with my friend and ally, Miss Serena Rose.
This is like so multicultural.
On and invite her onto the video.
If you want to be really spiritual,
exactly.
You always have to be exhaling.
2 minutes to break through together.
They're gonna break through.
So this is the work I do that I wanted to share with the world, share with
This is the degeneracy we get when we get disconnected from true culture, from true strength, from true nutrition, and we get brainwashed into this nonsense, new age crap. What is this?
And
what is this?
Yeah,
dude?
I really want to invite Serena to
get naked,
experience
to experience my Kundalini rising.
what I've been working on in my life, which is quickly getting to.
All right, let's see.
So, Serena, are you ready to get started?
I am.
Awesome. So, to begin, I like to do a little brief meditation, a little.
I don't even know if
activation
I don't think this guy might not.
So
This we were talking about
sit,
veganism. I don't think he's vegan.
Straight spine, really ground our sit bones, ground our feet, and then we're just gonna take a big inhale in through the nose,
Like a rider.
and then a full exhale from the mouth. Another inhale.
I don't know if he's vegan, but this guy was shared on some vegan page, and I just had to share this with you guys. This is just such a great example of this like insanity, this new age religion degeneracy, this fake spirituality, right? Like, oh, you're gonna be spiritual, have an open relationship, be spiritual, go to Burning Man spiritual, you know, go do Osho rituals with Elliot Hulse, breathe into your balls. Like, this is the replacement that we get for real culture, real family, and real connection, real community. You get this global monoculture crap.
So right now, in like one sentence, how does your physical body feel?
My physical body I feel like a superhero right now. That's how I feel.
Nice.
How does your body feel?
So
Yes.
how about, is there an area of your body or a place where there's more energy, or you feel it the most?
My heart.
Lower, babe,
and
lower.
My third eye.
Where's your third eye?
Wow.
Wow.
Beautiful.
I'm just gonna be
So how
present
about
with you.
feelings?
Let's be present with him, you
Emotional
guys.
Energy, anything else in the body that we want to pay attention to?
Yeah, I've been coping with my recent evolution and how
This is the degeneracy that gets pushed on us, guys. This is the replacement that you get for real culture, right? Like, this is why we do what we do, so we can stop this nonsense, so people do not give into this crap and start raising families of soy boys completely disconnected from what it means to be human, from what it means to have a community, and what it means to be truly spiritually strong, right? Like, all these people, oh, like, you're God, bro. You're God. Like, me, I'm God. I'm so spiritual. I met this Osho disciple, and he taught me how to jump up and down and hyperventilate. And then he taught me how to find chicks to cyber with and pay me to do it. And, like, it was just so cool. Like, Osho was just this enlightened being, and he taught me Tantra. I mean, this is the degenerate culture you get. You get these activists pushing this false diet. You get these false religions. Here you go. Two of the great vegan activists.
It was epic, man. It was so good to see so many people come together, loud and proud. And how good were those trucks with the footage? Dude, that happened every march. That was so powerful. To get that cruising ahead of the march.
Yeah.
So everybody knows it's becoming what it's all about. That was awesome, dude. Really powerful.
Comparative to the population size in Australia, that was a huge march.
It was, man. Especially like the last biggest march that we had was like 700 people.
Yeah.
That was like maybe 4 times as big.
Yeah.
And that was only last year. So, you know, man. And a few years before that, it was like 20 people. Right. So, dude, the speed that this is growing is you know, it's so positive. It's so great, man. Fills that cup full of optimism.
Well, you've been fighting for a few years now, man. It's good to see something started to sprout.
Totally. I think, like, you know as well, that we see the fruits of our labor in our comment section and in our inbox all the time. So many people are going vegan. So many people are becoming activists. And I love getting messages now that's like, yo, I watched your video 4 years ago and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, whoa, man, like 4 years, you know, and we're just warming up, I still feel.
Yeah, and they go, you turned me into an activist and I turned my whole family vegan, and now they're going out and turning people. Yeah.
So like, me and our whole family vegan because of this YouTube video you did. And it's like, okay, cool, that took me 5 minutes to do.
Amazing.
You know, just went, yo, what's up? Everyone needs to go vegan because the world's messed up and we can do better.
Wow.
You know, like, it's amazing the power that we have to share our thoughts and our message to countless people online at a couple of clicks of a button.
Also, what I want to say is that people think that because we do this, that they can't do it too, and that no one has the potential to make massive waves, that they should leave it up to someone else.
Yeah,
but
totally,
that's
totally.
not true, is it?
Man, like, what I'm noticing heaps lately is all these other people who are like, you know, doing Joe versus the public style vids, or just speaking to the camera, or just doing, like, just getting it happening, man. Just utilizing our biggest tool, which is social media, and just having the same conversations that we've been having, and recording it.
Yeah, bro, it's like, just like, get on, like, I change people's life, dude. I, like, get online, I'm like, hey, just, you know, do veganism, because the world sucks, and, like, we can make it better by just being vegan, dude. And people listen to these guys, and they make their whole life about it. People listen to these guys, and they feed their children a vegan diet, and their children degenerate. People listen to these degenerates, and they think that they can be awesome vegan activists too, because we're all looking for something. We're all looking for a deeper connection here. We've had our cultural heritages robbed from us. We've had the heritage of our cultures, of the way that we nourish ourselves, and of true connection to our environment, true connection to each other, true spiritual unity, true spiritual communities has been robbed from us. And this is what is given to us in the place. You know, we get masculinity is dead. Oh, you know, like you get Mr. freaking, hey, come cyber with me and I'll be present with you for $100 sessions out of freaking California. I mean, this guy talks just like all the kids I grew up with, all the rats on the beach, dude. Except at least they I mean, it's just insane. This is what we get given. You get given Osho spirituality. You get given vegan GMO activism. You get given 21-year-old entrepreneurs spending daddy's billions of dollars to tell everybody what they're allowed to eat and to degenerate the diet and the culture. This is far more than just a diet. This is far more than just eating a healthy way. This is about the degeneration of culture and the destruction of our genetic heritage, the genetic heritage of our foods, and the destruction of beautiful cultures like the Inuit, like the Native Americans of North America, like the Melanesians and the Polynesian cultures who eat fish and seafood exclusively and are totally healthy until they come in contact with degenerate foods from the Western world, then their health rapidly degenerates. So this is not something that we can just sit back and watch. This is not something that we can allow to further degrade our culture and our consciousness and destroy our communities and destroy every single ethnicity's heritage on this planet. Right? The same people funding the vegan movement are out there telling you that we need to depopulate the African world. The African continent must be depopulated, says Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, spending billions of dollars to openly try to depopulate Africa and spread the GMO seeds since the 1970s, the fake green movement. You know, it gets these funny names, green movement, animal rights movement. Who's funding this stuff? You guys check out my most recent stream. Not my most recent stream. It was like a month ago. Who funds the vegan movement? You'll see a breakdown of some of the people who are funding this stuff, which we talked about earlier. Who are the Inuit are supposed to go vegan, says Bridget. Yes, every culture is supposed to go vegan because it's animal exploitation and it's unsustainable and it's immoral, according to the vegans, who are all moral relativists, right? If you really want to debate a vegan, ask them, where does morality come from? Where does objective morality come from? Most of them are atheists. Most of them don't believe in God, don't believe in a creator. Yet their entire moral framework is dependent on higher transcendental principles like objective morality. So there's no God, vegans. And you're just God, bro. You're God, like Osho and stuff, dude. Like Elliot Hulse, like we're all God. Charlie Manson's God. The Rock is God. The Wall is God. Everything's God. There's nothing higher or lower. We're all just like the crickets. Right? But Where does morality come from then? Then why should we not eat animals? Even in their nonsense self-refuting ideology, there's not supposed to be objective morality. Yet, they want it both ways. They want to say there is no objective source of morality. There's no creator. There's no higher principles that are transcendental. It's just might makes right. It's what we decide. We decide if it's right or wrong. But then you ask them, okay, if that's true, why should we all be vegan? And then they'll say, well, there is a higher morality, and it's obviously true. Okay, great. Demonstrate to me how this higher morality dictates that we shouldn't be eating animals. And how do we delineate who's supposed to eat animals and not? So the tigers are supposed to just drop down. The lion's got to lay down with the lamb. The wolf's got to come and bow down to our feet and let us feed him GMO soy, corn, and wheat. Ooh, that even rhymed. It's a totally self-refuting ideology, all based on assumptions that are not based in the physical world. These are transcendental principles. They want to make universal statements, but not believe in universals. So if you're a moral relativist, how do you refute this stuff anyways? I don't know. It's always interesting to hear people's ideologies break down and crumble. People want it both ways, though. They want to say there is no higher power. There's nothing higher than man. So we get to make up morality, and it's just if we all agree on it. But then they also want to say, well, it's just intuitive that we know. You know intuitively. We feel it. You feel it. They want it both ways. They want to live like there's objective morality, but not admit that there is objective morality. This is self-refuting, very interesting when you really break it down. So anyways, guys, real nutrition, real nutritional principles are out there, and every single culture that you come from, no matter what race you are, whether you're black, white, Asian, Polynesian, North American Indian, Inuit, Quechua, every single culture in the history of mankind has eaten meat and made families. Not only is eating meat totally demonized now in the demonic vegan religion that wants to tell you abstain from meats. You must abstain from meats. But also, our culture is demonizing families, demonizing having children, which is why sterilization is a sacrament in the vegan religion to the cult leaders like Dr. Greger, Mike the Vegan, Klaus from Plant-Based News, and Durian Ryder. All these people talking about the world's overpopulated. Well, who are you to say how many people should be on the world? Who are you to say how we use our land? If I own 15 acres, who are you to tell me that I can't put cattle on that land and feed them with the water that bubbles out of the ground from my spring? Who are you to tell me that I can't slaughter that cow and feed it to my children who need those nutrients to live so I don't have to import food and sell my soul to Monsanto? Who are you to tell me? Even in your own ideology, you don't believe in a higher power, you're all atheists or New Agers who believe that you're God. We're all God, bro. It's like we're all God. Everything's God. My knife is God. My chapstick's God. Charles Manson's God. Nonsense. This is nonsense, and this is what we're being degraded with. So anyways, guys, eat meat and make families. Check out the organ meat section in this book. I'm always harping on about the organ meat section, partially because one of my favorite pictures in this book is right there. I love that heart. All right, beef heart, one of the most nutrient-dense parts of the cow, and relatively cheap. Somebody was saying they got a 5-pound heart for $15. It's a good price. Actually, when I think about it, I think we pay $3 a pound for heart here too, so that's good. In Ecuador, they understand the importance of eating foods like marrow, heart, kidneys, lungs. They're eating these good foods. Mammon Santo, says a liberal autist. Exactly. Eat meat and make families, guys. But hey, my message would get spread out there if I said eat meat and make money, wouldn't it? Eat meat and make money. Eat meat because you're God, brah. That would get attention. right? Eat meat and have orgies. Eat meat and be in an open relationship. Here's my ebook on how to be in an open relationship. No. This is nonsense. We need real cultures. We need real communities. And it does start in the families. Eat meat and make families. All right? So that's what's up, everybody. Check out the organ meat section of this book, the odd bit section. Jessica spent 1.5 years on this book, the Ketogenic Edge Cookbook, available on our website, primaledgehealth.com. And also, the Keto Collective is starting really soon. Keto Collective, 1 week from Sunday. We're super stoked on that. Won't be doing as many of these streams during the month of August because we'll be in the Keto Collective, be spending a lot of time and energy in the trenches, working with people, getting to know an awesome group of people. Usually most people sign up on the last week. There are still spots available. So you got about a week left to sign up for the Keto Collective, which is starting a week from Sunday. We got more vegans. More vegans popping in. They love to troll. Humans and cows are the same. Everything's the same. Crickets and babies are the same. If you eat a cricket, you're a murderer. If you drink raw milk, you're a rapist. Well, you know what? You can continue to live that life, right? Don't have kids, right? You won't be able to anyways. And if you do have children, and you feed them that diet, unfortunately, they're going to reap what you sow. Because we all reap what we sow. Unfortunately, most of us don't know what we're sowing. Most of us prefer illusion. If my message was eat meat, make money, be a lot more popular, wouldn't it? Eat meat, be hot. Eat meat, be sexy. Veganism sexy. Shan says, go vegan and die. That's Farrage's thing. Farrage says that. He makes, Farrage makes, what's it called? He makes a t-shirt of that. Pretty funny. So vegan ethics. All right. Let's see here. Let me jump over here and see what these people are saying. What about Eskimos? They can grow their vegetables and ice. Yeah, no, the Eskimos can't. No, they got to go vegan. And they already have accepted a lot of the plant-based imported foods. Their health degenerates. Their culture degenerates. They're not able to feed themselves. And this is what the vegan abolitionists want. They want the destruction of all culture. They don't know consciously what they're even pushing for. Hydrofire says, don't need to have kids to make families. Exactly. You make real communities. Make real communities. And if you're not going to have kids, that's cool. No problem. That's all good. If you don't want to have kids, no reason to. But you know what? Real community is important. It's been robbed from us. Real spirituality has been robbed from us. And you've been told that you're gods. And you'll live forever from transhumanism. You just get to put your VR goggles on and join in. And watch your VR porn. Masturbate to VR porn, go to Burning Man, take some drugs, get high as a kite, smoke some bong rips, and get in an open relationship. This is what the system wants. They want confused, lost people who are constantly engaging in practices that bring them away from real happiness, and bring them away from real connection, from real communities, from real practices that are moral and ethical in an objective sense, because I do believe in objective morality. Because there are universals. You all want to live like there are universals, you vegan Peter pantheists, who want to think that you're God and the cow's God and this and that. But you all want to pretend like there's universal moral principles and that we need to all obey. And that it's just rational and logical. Megiddo Jones talking about cultural Marxism. So somebody says that they believe veganism and Marxism are mixed or are linked, and vegans actually use the same Marxist apologetics and co-opting and division of communities and oppression language to sell their agenda. Quiet People says, get high as a kite, eat crickets, and drink raw milk. I don't know what you're talking about. You're mixing it up there. All right. So anyways, guys, The people telling you that you're going to get enlightened by going to Burning Man, taking MDMA, having group sex orgies like Osho and his whole Rajneeshi cult did. You ever met any of these former Rajneeshis? Any of the former Osho cult? You ever met any of these people? You've seen the fruits? It's kind of sad. Very sad. These practices, they don't result in strong communities. Practices like veganism don't even result in a strong body. So, all right, everybody. We're going to move on now. I think I'm going to get out of here. I want to thank Bethany. Bethany was really fun to talk to. She was awesome. What a great person. 3 months out of the vegan cult, and she sees it. She sees the nonsense. She bought into it hook, line, and sinker. Luckily, she got out of it before her kids were really damaged. Luckily, she got out of it before her kids were truly harmed, and she reversed her kids' dental caries using animal foods. And she realizes the true agenda of veganism, which is the destruction of all human cultures and the furthering of the global mono-mic culture with these vegan mic activists giving you mixed spirituality and a healthy whole foods vegan mic diet. So that when you're at Burning Man, dressed up as Pocahontas, you can know that your vegan diet is destroying the cultures of the Native Americans that you pretend to worship. All right, guys. So, I really appreciate all you guys joining. To the lovely guest, Bethany, thank you so much for joining again. Wishing your family all the best. It seems like you guys are really, really blessed with a lot of love. And I'm really happy that your husband was able to bring you out of the nonsense and you guys are regenerating your health. And I mean, just what you say, 4 days after eating a bunch of butter and raw milk, she stopped getting joint pain. Her arthritis symptoms left. Amazing. Very similar experience that we had, which I'll get into further in more detail as more of these streams happen. I think I might do another one. I'm trying to get Sfaraj on Friday. I hear about his story. I don't really know what he's all about. But he's funny. Joy Tucker says, someone at work invited me to Burning Man today. Tell him, go enjoy. Burning Man. Burning Man spirituality and a vegan diet. That's what you get in replacement of true culture, true connection, true heritage, and true connection to the absolute and the source of objective morality, which does exist. And everybody wants to live like it exists, but so many people want to pretend like it's all just relative, bro. It's all relative. So eat meat, make families, guys. Check out Nutrition and Physical Degeneration, one of the most important nutritional and anthropological texts of the 20th century. Big eye-opener. If you've got kids, if you're a former vegan or a current vegan, definitely look at this book. Any former vegans out there who want to come on the stream and talk about their story, hit me up, send me an email, Tristan@primaledgehealth.com, or send me a private message via Instagram, Primal Edge Health on Instagram. Eat meat and make families.
Thank you.